Welcome back to the Four Mile Circus. We're about to play Summer Rose Court. We're going to catch up with the guys. We took a portal to Myrtanasta, met Duke Guntram, Sershini, and we're currently heading towards the Hall of Judgment for some kind of showdown. Okay, we're in the Hall of Judgment. Let's start. The Hall of Judgment looks more like a grand cathedral than any other kind of court. The ceiling looms high above us, its massive glass dome covered in a thick coat of frost. Arched windows of stained glass frame the room on either side, running its length from left to right, like the artwork. They seem to depict various parts of a grim tale. Oh, I see a girl with black hair and a regal gown taken into the woods by a huntress. The next window showcases this same girl rescued by 7 knights in an intricate armour, their pauldrons adorned with a crest in the shape of a snowflake. Like it, that's pretty cool. Oh, the next image that catches my eye looks like a woman with gnarled antlers and the outline of a crown above her head. That's rather sinister looking, isn't it? Her skin is a dark red. Blood, maybe? And she wears a pitch black robe. Her thin hand extends an apple to the girl. Ooh, we all know that fairy tale. Some old legend, perhaps. Don't bite the apple. Whoa, a sudden blinding pain stabs me right between the eyes. I feel them begin to water, my entire body trembling, as if my bones were trying to rip their way out from beneath my skin. What's happening? I stumble. My heart pounds in my ears, deafening me to silence. I cannot scream. What's going on? My blood is on fire. Okay. Alright, let's just calm down, everyone. A voice I've never heard breathed into the shell of my ear, dripping venom with every word. Not a legend, a falsehood. Well, so is it that dark figure from that picture? Whoa, Ruby must be tired out. She's constantly getting stuff like this happen to her. She must be just like, I just want to play the Xbox today. Just want to kick it, drink a few long ones, hang out with Yang. Yang, Ruby? A warm hand clamps onto my shoulders, fingers calloused and grip firm. Yang's voice brings me back to my senses. Ruby, yes? Yes. Looking away from the window helps me recover, grounds me in the here and now. Yang, you look weird. You okay? My crown has never felt heavier. Yes, I'm fine. Just hearing voices, yeah, worrying. I think I might collapse. When Yang takes her hand back, I fight not to wobble on my feet. Yang, if you say so. Look at the six-pack on Yang. Look at that six-pack. A visiting queen does not vomit on allied nobles, Ruby. That's true. Get a grip. I think she's been a bit tough on herself. She keeps having these episodes. Keeping my gaze low, I shake my head and busy myself with studying the rest of the chamber. So, the chamber. We're here because Sershini is defending the honour of Lancelin, I think, who has been accused of some such, and has been threatened with exile. So Sershini is doing a trial of judgment for her, instead of it being Lancelin doing it. And if she loses, she's exiled as well, so it's high stakes. The room is an oval, everything inside chiselled from black marble. It's pretty cool. We're ushered towards rows of seats. The arrangement seems to adhere to our rank. I sit at the highest tier with Yang and the Duke. Perks of being a queen, I suppose. You're goddamn right. From my vantage point, I make out what looks like a raised platform and an orchestra pit. Music. People in black and white robes file into the pit and onto the choral platform just above. They wear cold masks, featureless but somehow familiar. Yang leans close to me, muttering in my ear. They kind of look like the wizards back home, don't they? Ruby Rose, you think so too? Each member of the choir hums in perfect harmony. I don't understand a word of it. Their music is different from anything I've ever heard before, equal parts haunting and joyful, a far cry from the wild tempos and fast-paced drums of the Xiaolong tribe. The Xiaolong kick it, don't they, when they're quiet nights out in the desert, the drums get out. As they sing, something strange begins to happen. Is that light? Motes of soft white luminescence rise from their lips, drifting aimlessly upwards, like fireflies almost. What, they've got light coming out from their lips? Ruby rose. Oh wow, so the magic of Mitch Glass is language based too? That was a quick swap. Duke Guntram. Correct, your majesty. Unlike Vale's language, I don't know why I've got this voice all of a sudden. Our mystical tongue is far more of a challenge to learn. I detect a strong note of patriotic pride in his voice, and I almost pout at him. Ruby, in what way? You'll see in a moment. He's got a stern voice, hasn't he? I like his white chin strap. It's pretty cool. Without saying a word, not even an introduction, the stern-faced conductor turns to us. The room goes quiet. And bowing to the audience, they turn round and regard both choir and orchestra for a handful of tense moments. This is the oddest trial by combat I've ever seen. A sudden flick of their wrist sends a shower of golden sparks rushing towards the dome above us. The entire room goes pitch black, air resonating with the sound of low and steady hums. I feel Yang tense up next to me. A moment later, Sir Shni takes centre stage. The look on her face is one of absolute determination. Come on, Sir Shni. She stands without moving, the subtle cant of her head casting a dramatic shadow across the sharp, regal lines of her face. It's lovely writing, that is, isn't it? It's lovely, lovely, lovely. Though the penalty issued is death, you have chosen trial by combat in lieu of requesting a formal stay of execution. I've only just worked out it was a voice for that. Is this correct, Knight Commander? Weishni, yes. Noble, should you fail, both yourself and Lancelin, did get that name right, must forfeit your lives. Is this understood? Icy blue eyes stare into the darkness. Her lips move, but none of us hear what she says. I can guess what she said. I don't think it's printable. I imagine it's very concise and with 4 letters. Excuse me? Her blade hums as she unsheaths it from her belt. Oh, I like it. Oh, does she look cool? I like her ruffle. It's like an Elizabethan ruffle. Weishni, Sir Lancelin. In the light, both women and weapons shine. Her hair seems to glow silver, the dark of her eyelashes in stark contrast against her pale skin. Insult one of my knights again, only if you wish to join me in the arena. Yeah, he called her Lancelin, didn't he? An undercurrent of whispers. Undercurrent. I don't think I said that. An undercurrent. An undercurrent of whispers flies through the assembly. Though the announcing noble is full of bluster and righteous indignation, a gesture from the Duke quiets the crowd. Shh! Duke Gundren, begin. Oh, hello. Then some hidden cue inspires every violin and cello to action. Let's just take this in for a minute. Several voices within the choir also shift to a higher pitch, holding the note while a shaft of brilliant white light flares into existence before us. Oh, this is urgent music. Lie still, dog. We're getting urgent here. Stop rattling around. The orchestra and choir swell at his command. The music they create radiates out in palpable waves. I still can't understand a word of it, but how it hits us feels different, somehow, more electric. I lean over and whisper to Yang. But where's her opponent? I look in time to catch Sir Shni bow to the dark, She's gonna rock, isn't it? As she does, the circle of light at her feet begins to extend, stretching from where she's standing until it joins another at the far end of the platform. Yang's hand covers my mouth as I gasp. Oh, yeah, the new source of light reveals an armoured figure kneeling in wait before the Knight Commander. What in the world? What we got? Ooh, wow, that is huge. What a lovely piece of artwork that is. That is cracking. Sir Schnee is dwarfed several times over as the figure stands to its full height. What on earth is that? It's like a knight of some sort. The handle of that sword is bigger than she is. This is what they meant by trial by combat, says Yang. How's he even going to move? Ruby, at that size an entire suit of armour would have to weigh hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. Do you have that in metric? The knight shall carry out its task without fault. Of that there is no question. Sorry, it's Guntram. Yang, I don't understand. So another knight fights Sir Schnee for the kingdom while she's defending the life of a different knight from the kingdom? Duke Guntram, no. Ruby Rose, there's no one in the suit. Yang, what? It's magic. It's a giant empty suit of armour powered by the singer's magic. Oh, I like that. On an entirely technical scale, this is amazing. I like this. So it's their chorus, their song that's bringing it to life. I bite my lip. I have a bad feeling about this. So it's her verses? What? Your entire falsetto goon squad? I like Yang. To the point. Erudite and to the point. Ruby, Yang. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the Knight Commander bow to her opponent. Duke Guntram, Sir Schnee knew full well what risks awaited her. I do like his voice. The knight gives no warning before attacking. Fast! Spinning on a heel, it lashes out with an overhead chop, slanted directly at Sir Schnee. There's no hesitance behind the movement, only every intent to kill. Its weapon is a blur. I can't watch this. The Knight Commander, however, has a look of... Let me try again. The Knight Commander, however, has a look of supreme disinterest on her face. Oh, she's so casual. Remember when we arrived, she was taking on like 3 or 4 guys, just easily, with ease. She waits until the last moment to dodge, somersaulting backward to avoid her opponent's first blow. Yeah, that's it. The knight reverses its grip without stopping. Even removed as I am from the action, the sheer power beneath its attack slaps me in the face with a gust of wind. How can it move like that? Horrified, I realise the next move isn't going to be as fortunate for Sir Schnee. Though Sir Schnee dodges its second and third blows, a quick snap of a fourth sends her flying backwards in a shower of sparks. Yang, that did not look pretty. Ruby, at least she landed on her feet. I'm amazed the Knight Commander hasn't been launched through the far wall. Weiss? Schnee. Weiss? I think that's right. Weiss Schnee. Is that the best you can do? So Schnee raises her weapon to her opponent. The rapier gleams in the light. When she rushes forth to attack, its reflection is like quicksilver whistling through the air. Weiss Schnee. I've met novices which fought with better form. Her first strike takes the massive figure just as it raises its weapon. A blast of magic shoots forward from the tip of her sword, knocking the figure back. Unbalanced, it stumbles in an attempt to escape the multitude of thrusts Sir Schnee rains down upon it. Yang, nice! Sir Schnee wastes no time in pressing her advantage. As the knight falters, she leaps between its arms and vaults from its chest in a graceful backwards arc. She rocks. Dormin is a blur of white and silver on the stage. Her sigil allows her to strike anywhere and from every direction. She ravages the knight, striking it until it stumbles unbalanced from foot to foot. Once, twice, thrice, her rapier sings nearly 5 times in an instant. each blow sending white-hot sparks flaring across the stage. Something that big won't go down easy, but even if she keeps it off balance, it isn't enough. The knight recovers just as Sir Shnee attempts to pierce the hollow of its knee. Rather than fall, it grabs its blade in a reverse grip and tears the weapon free of the stage in an upward slash, a torrent of debris sent hurling in every direction. Yang, oh my! Duck! Yang moves before I do, throwing her arm in front of me the moment it happens. God, she's good. She's good. I expect chaos, screaming, a rush of bodies in the dark, each intent on saving themselves from the oncoming barrage of debris. Ruby and Yang. But nothing comes our way, not even a pebble. What? Duke Guntram, you've got nothing to worry over, madam. Your Majesty. Madam? Where did I get that from? The Duke has yet to tear his eyes away from the battle. He gestures to the stage once I settle back into my seat, Yang beside me. We are well protected. I follow his gesture back to the stage. There, in the dark, I find what looks to be a faint light coursing across the edge of the battleground. So we've got like a force field. Their battle is a contest of inches. For every step the knight takes, Sir Shnee moves 5. She refuses to engage the thing on its terms, rushing about the stage in a dizzying mix of acrobatics and footwork. I'm exhausted just looking at it. It's excellent writing, this, isn't it? I'm loving it. Yang, they're deadlocked if this keeps up. Something's got to give. The knight can't match her pace. Whenever it attempts to close their distance, Sir Shnee merely leaps out of its reach and punishes it for overextending. She's good, but a single misstep is all it takes. No. Sir Shnee dives headlong into the fray, after unbalancing her opponent yet again. Her rapier seeking fatal purchase in the space between the knight's mail and helm. No, wait! Dropping its weapon momentarily, the knight throws the unbalanced portion of its body counterclockwise. Sir Shnee barely has enough time to brace herself as it whirls her opponent, reclaims its dropped blade, and intercepts the knight's commander mid-dash. Yang sucks in a breath through her teeth. Though Sir Shnee manages to land on her feet yet again, momentum carries her further backwards still, the iron of her greaves screaming as they grind divots into the floor. Lovely. My mouth drops at what happens next. The knight leaps from one end of the stage to the other, the sheer massive size of it cracking the onyx beneath its feet. As it drops, Sir Shnee is dwarfed in its shadow, the massive size of the knight eclipsing her entirely. Oh, the entire room quakes from the power behind the strike. Look at those faces. Weeby rose. Yang, do you think she... The stage is in ruins. When the cloud of dust clears, I see 2 giant slabs of broken onyx have risen around the knight, shards of debris still raining down from the ceiling. No one speaks. Even members of the choir have stopped their song. Oh no. I'm out of my seat before I realise I'm moving. Yang and the Duke are hot on my heels as we head down to the chamber floor. Rubble lies in sporadic piles across the marble floor, deep grooves and divots left behind where the knights fought. Just as we get to the bottom, one pile of debris shifts, revealing the sheen of armour. Sir Shnee? More of the wreckage crumbles away and my heart sinks to see one massive hand emerging from the destruction. The knight construct gets up on all fours as the bits of broken marble shift, revealing a small shape crumpled up underneath. Sir Shnee struggles to her hands and knees as the knight moves aside, freeing her from the debris. A gash across one eye drips blood down her face, pooling in the corner of her mouth and the crevices of her dinged and dented armour. She's alive! Gordon's alive! Whew, that was close. The knight commander straightens out, stumbling away to safety before turning to face the construct. Is she done? Drawing her sword once more, she lifts it, pointing at the construct. The tip of her sword wavers with an unsteady hand. Vice Schnee, another round. She wipes her face off on her shoulder, but the cut on her face continues to bleed freely. Blinking, she licks her lips and hoarsely cries out again. I still draw breath. The fight is not over. Duke Guntram. Enough of this farce, Sir Schnee. You forget your place. Is it any wonder those under your command spit in the face of our laws and traditions? Vice Schnee, I remember my place well. 'Tis that of Knight of Michglas, and as such, I stand by my decision. Have that not decided it? We'd have to carry on arguing. I swore an oath to treat those who serve me with honour and dignity. Any punishment that would be delivered unto them should be given to me instead. Vice Schnee, so kill me. I offer my life in place of my knight. She's very honourable, isn't she? Oh, Duke Guntram, by all rights, Lancelin should not be a knight. Ooh, it's tempting. I'm gonna speak up. Ruby Rose, if Lancelin isn't a knight, then why were they set to receive a knight's punishment? Oh, don't wrong foot Guntram. Duke Guntram, this is no concern to you. However, since Sir Schnee is so adamant about receiving Lancelin's punishment, then I shall indulge her. Duke Guntram, you, Sir Schnee, sir, have lost the duel. Did she lose? As such, with all the authority of my office, I banish Vice Schnee and Lancelin Schaefer from the kingdom. Stepping forward, he grips Vice by the upper arm, pulling her close. He speaks lower so that only those of us on the platform can hear. Duke Guntram, consider this a mercy. My debt to your father repaid. Oh yeah, that's one hell of a way to repay the debt, is by exiling his daughter. He lets her go and then shoving her, and then lets her go with a shove, raising his voice. Guards, escort these castless out beyond our lands. I allow you to keep whatever you can carry on your backs, Schnee. Okay, we get a load of gold and stuff, diamonds. This is too much. I can't just stand here and let this happen. Ruby, I don't think it's our place, really. We were told to be very taciturn when we came here. They're straight-talking people. Ruby, your grace. The nobles all turn to look at me. This is not going to be good, is it, Ruby? It's not going to be good. If only Glinda was here, she would cast me one of those looks and tell me to shut up. The Duke glares much harder than before. Sir Schnee's eyes widen in surprise, but then narrow in suspicion. Oh, here we go. Your grace, I believe that I have a solution for your problem. It also resolves the matter that caused me to come to your plane in the first place. Good thinking, Ruby. We're gonna ask her. I don't know. Is this gonna work? He's just exiled her as castless. Is he gonna really let her come to our world? I'm thinking ahead. Duke Guntram, and what is the solution you propose, your majesty? Oh, wait a minute. Ruby, since Sir Schnee is to be exiled from Michglas, I would request that she joins me in Vale as a member of my court. She would not be here to cause further trouble for you, and in doing so, you would honour our ancient agreement to have a Michglas noble on my court. Duke Guntram, you what? It doesn't sound good. No, her punishment has been decided. It must be carried out. Vice Schnee, your grace, my punishment is exile. Does it matter where I go, so long as I am gone? It's a good point. Got you on a technicality there. Yeah, I'll take the exiles off your hand. Bit offhand that, bit easy going. I would be honoured to have Sir Schnee join me. I don't know whether that's what he wants to hear. I'm going to go for the top one. Yeah, you don't want to hang your court. I'll take care of her. Plus, this way you don't have to give me someone you want around. Everyone wins. Duke Guntram, a tempting offer. I think we chose right there for a change. Vice Schnee, everybody. Do you not understand the meaning of the word punishment? Whether I stay in Michglas or leave with you, I'm still exiled. Ruby, we're not so bad. We're better than dying in the Snow at least. Good point. Cheer up, Vice. She hasn't met Glinda yet, though, that's true. I'm not so certain of that. If my Duke consents, then I will join you. Duke Guntram, are you certain that you want her, your Majesty? There are people who are equal in prowess and less recalcitrant. Nice word. Sershni scowls, but she doesn't disagree. Ruby, I don't know what that word means, but I'm certain I'd like Weiss. And Lancelin too. Okay. Agravain the Violet. Please, Commander, take us along as well. Wait a minute. What? Who's Agravain? The Violet? Turning away from her, I'm surprised to find 6 of Sir Shnee's knights staring back at me, a determined look in their eye. Okay. Sir Shnee speaks up before I can say anything, though. You fools! Think of your families. What purpose would going into exile serve? Saphir the Indigo. They know we are sworn into you with more than words. They will understand. You need people you can trust at your back. Who better than us? That last bit is directed at the Duke, as if daring him to say something. The Duke does not, but simply stares at us in silent disapproval. Just get out of my sight. Okay. Not sure that was too good went that well. Sir Shnee's mouth, opening for a retort, clicks shut. She seems a bit resigned, but eventually nods. By Shnee, do you need to make any preparations? Say goodbye. Vice Shnee, do you need to make any preparations? Say goodbye. Dristan the Citrine. We've already taken care of that, Commander. I love their names. Shnee, already? You assumed I was going to fail, Dristan. At that, all the knights shift about on their feet, sheepish, but they don't dare to look away. Dristan, you do tend to take on tasks with very slim chances of success. I like that, Commander. Oh, look at the angry face. Urgh. Shnee, you! Gallius the Gold. Never mind that, Commander. You can only carry what's on your back, but we'll gather the things from your quarters and meet you there. The knight in gold grins down at Vice, looking positively roguish. And admit it, you'd miss us, wouldn't you? Sir Shnee scowls, but somehow it seems a little softer as she glares at all her knights. Shnee, don't think we've finished discussing this. The knights ignore her tone, only snapping a salute. Agravain the Violet. As you say, Commander. Wow, we made some new friends. There's a flurry of activity as her knights and a handful of squires ready themselves for departure, marching out the doors and away from the arena. Yang taps me on the shoulder. Yang, Ruby, where are they going to stay? There's some empty barracks and stables. I figure we'll house them there for now, and build more if we need to. Sir Shnee can stay at the castle since she's the formal representative. Yang, already thinking ahead, Your Majesty. An escort returns us back to the portals after snapping the shackles from Lancelin's wrists. The Duke stops Sir Shnee before she goes through. Duke Guntram, and what shall I tell your father when he returns from the expedition to the mines? She gives him a scornful look. That I've made his decision for him, and my sister is the sole remaining heir. Ooh, okay. And then she's gone. I find I can't look properly at the Duke's face in her wake, and so only offer him a small bow before passing through the portal. Wow, we're back. I stumble when I land back home, just outside the Curia walls. I barely avoid falling flat on my face. That's right, we can't go directly in, can we? Lancelin and Sir Shnee are already there. The young knight has their commander's hands clasped firmly in between their own. Commander. Shnee, don't start. I know you'd have done the same for me. She gives Lancelin's hands a squeeze before pulling close in an embrace. It's short, but heartfelt. Stepping away, Lancelin looks from Sir Shnee to myself, visibly blinking away tears. Lancelin the Blue, Your Majesty, I must at least give you my thanks. Yang, we couldn't just let them kill you, Sir Lancelin. I'd have nightmares. As Sir Schnee is bound to you in service, so am I, says Lancelin. I'm an exile of Michglas, but trained as a mage knight. Ooh, and I would be honoured to be your knight if you'd have me. Ruby, of course I'd love that. A few mages arrive there to greet me, and I'm told that Glinda is still managing the great portal that lies within the Curia walls. I shakily wonder if I should wait here or head back to the castle when Sir Schnee's knights begin making their way through. They're already making comments, apparently uncaring that we can hear them. Gallius the Gold. We're going to boil here if we're not careful. Agravain the Violet. Well, these people seem to manage, even with such primitive engineering. They must be exceptionally hardy. Bedwyr the Scarlet. Don't press any of the locals into being your guinea pigs, Agravain. But what if I ask them really nicely? Saphir the Indigo. Stop! We are not going to get ourselves exiled from 2 kingdoms in one day. Gallius the Gold. Ooh, Sir Saphir. Is that a challenge? However, we will manage to resist. Sir Schnee, who'd been surveying the area, looks back to her people. The first syllable off her tongue has them all at attention. Schnee. Let's get settled in first, and we can handle any issues as they come. Yes, Commander. Oh, here she is. My favourite and your favourite. It's Glinda. Hi, Glinda. Approaches from the inside the Curia, magic still humming around her before she whisks it away. I'm waiting for the disapproving look. Glinda. Oh, wait a minute. A success then. The Duke sends his knights. Yeah, sort of. We're going to tell her the truth. Let's not tell her the truth. Yep. Oh, don't, Ruby. Too honest. Sort of. I'll explain it later. For now, I turn to Sir Schnee and her knights. I wonder if they're worried about leaving Michglas or joking around to hide their fear. They might never return home. For now, our new guest will need somewhere to stay. Also, Vale is much hotter than Michglas. We'll have to find them more appropriate gear before someone gets heat stroke. Glinda. Of course. We can make space for them in the barracks. They're not the most luxurious of quarters, but I hope they'll be acceptable. The knights nod their agreement. Wait, what about Sir Schnee? Glinda praises Weiss. And you are? Oh god, this is going to go badly. Weiss. I am Sir Weiss Schnee, Knight Commander of the Knights Orphaland. At your Queen's request, I am to join the Council as the representative of Michglas. Glinda. We do have a few rooms available in the castle. Would you like to take one for yourself, or would you prefer to stay with your people? Weiss doesn't answer immediately. Ruby, you should stay in the castle with us, as, you know, a protector. We can have a party, we can play the Xbox, we can drink a few cool ones, we can kick it. There's an empty room right down the hall from mine. Weiss Schnee, I am flattered by your regard, Queen Ruby, but I should stay with my knights. She bows to Glinda. The barracks will be perfectly sufficient. Okay. Your loss. The next few days are spent in frenetic activity. The mages have begun re-establishing the portals to Michglas, allowing humans to travel to and fro with relative ease. Ozpin tells me it's probably a good idea to hold off on opening another portal until I have time to recover my energy. That's right, it was rather punishing opening that portal. Blake and I are also hard at work, uncoiling the mysteries of the Grimm together in the library. I make sure everything is well documented, though Blake is reticent regarding her Grimm bone weapons. Do you want to know a bit more about Blake? I'm sure she'll open up with time. The lessons with Glinda continue nightly, seeking to test the limits of my abilities and possibly discover new ones. My head is so crammed full of information that I'm too exhausted for nightmares, though thankfully those seem to be abating with the meditation techniques Ozpin helps me learn. Tonight, I hope my 3 cult members will join me. Yang knows the gist of it, but I want Blake and Weiss to know about me as well. About Crescent Rose. I decide to invite them personally, heading to see Sir Schnee first. Oh, Schnee! She's been spending a lot of time exploring my castle. After asking around, I find her quickly. Schnee, Your Majesty, to what do I owe this pleasure? Ruby, just dropping by to talk. How are your knights adjusting to the new climate? Shni, they are soldiers. They're used to being in unfamiliar ground. Oh, glad to hear it. I was more worried about our steeds, but your sister's beasts seem to be behaving themselves well. That's right, the only empty stables are where Ember and Salika are being kept. Dragons don't like live prey, says Ruby, most of the time. Your horses will be safe. We often kept our dragons penned in the same stalls as our livestock back in the desert. Vice, yes, interesting beasts. The Queen's Guard has them very well trained. Ruby, Yang's had her dragons since she was a little girl. They respect her. Just tell me if there's anything you or your people need. Vice, I did have a question for you, if you have the time. Of course, Sir Shni, what's on your mind? She narrows her eye in thought, rubbing her chin. What exactly was that entity you were speaking with the other day, Your Majesty? Huh? What? Are we... What, the plate in the Judgment Hall? The one wearing a Grimm skin? You know, they never seem to wear shoes. I still don't catch on quite yet. Sir Shni's impatient stare cuts through me like glass before she clicks her tongue, a disgusted noise whistling sharply through her nose. The tail and the ears, those yellow eyes, Your Majesty, the counsellor from the forest. Ah, Blake. Oh, you're talking about Blake, aren't you? Yes, Your Majesty, that strange thing. What are they? Blake is turning a few heads, let me tell you, I'm not surprised. She's got all the ladies in a flutter. Thing? How rude, Blake is a person. Vice, is it a deformity then, a medical condition? Her tone is blunt, but it isn't cruel or mocking. My mouth opens and closes, useless, as I'm momentarily stunned by Sir Shni's words. It's not like I haven't heard worse said about the faunus and their animal traits, but coming from Sir Shni, it's more of an unexpected shock. She just hasn't seen them before, Ruby. That's what it is. It's the unfamiliar. She doesn't know what it is. She's asking an honest, if not slightly blunt and possibly racist question. The back of my neck heats up as my face settles into a scowl. Nothing's wrong with her at all. She's just a faunus. Sir Shni's face suddenly loosens from its usual stoic expression. Her eyebrows shoot up and ice blue eyes widen. Is that so? I see, so that's what a faunus looks like. Ruby Rose, hold on. Have you never seen a faunus before, Sir Shni? Come to think of it, back on Mitch class, I didn't see a single faunus. Sir Shni answers my questions with a brisk shake of her head. No. Though I have heard of them, I assume they were just grim tales or myths. The last supposed sighting of them was on our plane was decades ago. Allegedly, your people wouldn't let them through for fear of some kind of contamination. Then the major portal closed altogether 7 years ago. Sir Shni closes her eyes briefly, brows furrowed. She looks like she's in pain for a moment. Before I can think to ask her if something's wrong, she opens her eyes and continues. Trade was affected severely, but it also meant living flesh couldn't pass through anymore. Ruby. But before that, before the portals closed, people who travel between the planes didn't tell stories about the faunus? Vice, stories are just stories. Without proof, I found it difficult to believe such a... Sir Shni's eyes flicker to something over my shoulder. Unique race existed. I think she's got the hots for Blake. Here she is. Hi, Blake. Hi, Blake. Blake, we're very real, I assure you. She's been listening in. A squeak escapes my throat. I almost jump into Sir Shni's arms out of reflex. Ah, Blake, how long have you been there? Ah. Blake's lips twitch in a smile, her ears flicking back from the pitch of my voice. Blake Belladonna, long enough. Glinda told me you wanted your court members to gather in the throne room, so I sought you out to ask some questions beforehand. She directs her next comment to Sir Shni, expression unreadable. And Schnee, if you have questions about me, you should just ask me yourself. Schnee. Sir Schnee, thank you. Sir Schnee, thank you, and if I do, I shall. Openly curious now that she has permission to be so, I can see her eyes roaming over Blake's face, her ears, her claws, her tail. Schnee, it's still hard to swallow. You seem so average. She sounds disappointed. Blake raises a brow. I'll do better to appear more mystical next time you see me. Schnee, how kind of you. My stomach turns into knots. Had Blake heard the things Vice said earlier, calling her a thing, saying her ears were deformities? Are they going to fight? Oh, no. I'm not ready to be the mediator between the humans and the faunus. No, please don't fight. I'm trying not to panic too much. Blake will no doubt sense it, and that'll only make things worse. Schnee. Well then, I look forward to working with you, in aiding your queen, Councillor Belladonna. Blake, just call me Blake. Vice, but as peers we... Blake, it's Blake. Vice. Sir Schnee's lips pressed together into a tight line. This might take more getting used to than the cat's ears, honestly. She's blushing. Why is everyone on this place so damnably lax about the rules? Says the one exiled for breaking caste laws. Blake, oh, trust me, they're not. They just cover it with a different coat of paint. Sir Schnee scoffs at that, disgusted. Everyone here pretends to be your friend even if they dislike you. Sounds like England. It's terrible. It's called being polite? It's dishonest is what it is. Mitch class and her people may be cold, but at least I always know where I stand with them. With you lot, I haven't a clue. That's the magic of politeness. That's the glitter of it. No one knows where they are. Blake. Blake, then I guess you'll fit right in. Vice. Humph. And just like that, we all settle into banter, or rather, Sir Schnee and Blake do. I feel a little out of place with them, but whenever I pipe in to add a comment, they nod and respond. Ruby Rose, I'll meet you both during my lesson this evening then. Vice Schnee, yes, your majesty. Blake, I believe Sir Schnee and I will be arriving together. Feeling relieved, I let them be. They're deep in discussion about mid-class caste laws and the nature of Sir Schnee's exile. Cool, friends? Friends. Well, I think that's probably the end of today's episode. I think that's gone reasonably well. I didn't expect to come back with a whole set of my own knights and the master commander of the knights as well. I think I really like the fight sequence. That was really cool. Love that knight, that huge knight, and the idea it was controlled by the song of the choir. Oh, busy days, and I think we've got a burgeoning friendship going on with Blake and Schnee, so we'll see. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Welcome back to the Summer Rose Court, and I hope to visit here a bit sooner this time. And there you go. Thanks for listening, and take care of yourselves. All right, bye-bye.